Hey everybody, welcome to module number one. This is our first start at the class, and I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of walk you through the module, show you what's going on, and kind of lay out some of the expectations that I have or that the course has inside of this module. So module number one is kind of that overview. It gets you started in the class. It kind of shows you how the course is set up and how to navigate through things. And then starts this idea of writing as a conversation. So where you express a point and then your audience, your reader receives that, digests it, and then they kind of give you some sort of feedback back. Right now, sometimes that could be feedback about how you wrote or what you wrote or the things that maybe can be done to improve. Maybe it can be feedback on the topic, like, well, I like your point, but what about this? And it's a conversation back and forth. Now, obviously, in writing, it's kind of disjointed or asynchronous, meaning that you may not get that actual message back, right? Like it might be just what does my reader think about this, or what might they think about it, what might be their reaction to this. So sometimes you have to anticipate that. So anyway, module number one kind of gives you the overview of not only just writing as a conversation, but also the class and how it works. After some readings, then you will move into this discussion of rhetorically describing a text. Now, rhetoric is the situation that a text was written in, and then the way it was created in order to promote the message, right? To express a message, to write a complete piece. And so, rhetoric, we talk about all those things, right? Um, the part that you're going to be looking at specifically today is the rhetorical situation, and that's the why was this written, right? What were the things that go around the writing that show us who did it, what they were trying to accomplish, and what gives them the right or the expertness or the credentials to do that, right? So in the slideshow here, it kind of walks you through the different pieces of the rhetorical situation, the title, the author, the form. That's what publication it was originally printed in, right? That's where it was. That's not just it was written or it was on TV or whatever, but specifically that publication. Later on, we can take that publication and say, okay, what do I know about that publication? And what does it add to my understanding of this text or this author or what they're doing? The genre, what type of writing is it? Okay, is informative, is persuasive, those kinds of things. The audience to whom it was written, who is the intended audience? And we always think about like when you think about your audience, you always shape your message based on who you think is going to be receiving it. Right? If you think about how you talk to a spouse versus your children, right? There's a much, even though you're talking about the same thing, dinner, you talk about it much different language, much different styles, much different approaches, right? So there's a lot of this that we already do intuitively. And then the purpose is, why was the author trying to do this? What was he trying to accomplish? What was his goal in the end? Um, there's an exercise that goes along with this, and that will lead you up into your first class discussion. And I said earlier in our welcome that the discussions are one of the things that take a little bit of thought. Okay. Um, in all of our assignments, okay, the thing I always tell people is that the assignment has to stand on its own. Even in a face-to-face class, I wouldn't necessarily go back to a student in the middle of the week and say, "Hey, I just read your paper. I'm trying to figure out this, this, and this." Right? Now, maybe in face-to-face class, there's a little bit more of that interaction, but it would probably either be before the assignment was written or after it was turned in. In an online class like this, there's almost none of that, right? But in all these cases, in this class and all your other classes and in your work life and your career and whatever, your writing has to stand on its own. You have to assume that there's not going to be anybody coming back to you asking for clarification. So one of the big things that we really want everyone to focus on is making a message that is complete and whole, right? It completely expresses your thought, your idea, and it expresses the whole context, the whole understanding, the whole purpose of your writing. I think the other thing to think about here is that discussion boards are public. Okay. So not only do you want to make sure that you have a complete message, right, but that you have a message that others understand, can take and digest, and then respond to. But again, thinking about the idea that your writing is going to be public, then that other people are going to see that and then respond to it. And that's a little bit different because a lot of times, what when you write something, you turn it in, it just kind of goes to the teacher and that's it, right? This is a place for that conversation, right? And it kind of goes back to that idea of what we started with. One of the big things that I really like to impress upon people is that when you are responding to discussion boards, we always want to talk about the writing, not the topic. Okay. The discussion board is not a place to debate the issues, to attack each other based on a viewpoint. It's a place to say, I see what you said. Here's what I thought of your writing. Okay, here's what I thought of what you produce. I like your message because this and this. Your writing for me needs a little more clarification. I would like to have seen this, this, and this, right? But we're not looking for or to debate the topics, right? We really want to keep that in mind that this is a civil place for discussion. The discussion boards also have a thing in there, a requirement, and this is from the school, that you spread your submissions out. So I don't know if you're familiar with, um, I don't know if you're familiar with the with discussion boards from any of your other classes or whatever, either face to face or online. But there's always this component of you post here and you reply here, right? And that's what we're looking for is that you come back to that discussion board 2 or 3 or 4 times and that you are responding to people across a range. Okay. Now that's kind of important for a couple of reasons. First off, we do want you to post your initial post early so that other people have something to respond to, right? If you wait until, in this case, Tuesday night, the last night of the week, and you post yours and then reply to people, right? These other people, they don't have as much variety to respond to. Plus, you may not get responses to your writing. So we want you to post your original post early and then for you to come back and to reply to other people. One of the grade parts of the rubric is that they were not posted all on the same day. So that if you want the full points for the discussion board work, that I am able to see that you posted on this day, you posted a reply here, and you posted a reply there. You'll notice in the discussion board itself, it actually says to post on Thursday, one on Friday, and then one on Sunday. Um, that's kind of that's not like a fast rule, that's a suggestion, but it's that kind of idea that you keep coming back to it, right? Your expectation that your initial post is 150 words, I think that's a little short, but again, think about, is your idea complete? I won't be counting the number of words on any of our assignments. I won't be like, oh, it's supposed to be 300, you get 297, that's X number of points off. I am looking for a complete message. Feel free to go over, but again, these discussion posts aren't for like 1,000 word treatise or something, right? But it should be a complete message. And then that your two or more replies should be at least another 150 words. Again, I think those are very short, and that's a very doable number, right? But the idea is that you post an original post that is complete and accurate, and that you reply to at least 2 other people with complete and full messages. Okay. Um, that gets us into our discussion assignment. Select, describe, and evaluate your personal writing process based on the slideshow. So you're going to come down here in the slideshow and you're going to pick one of these pictures that describes what type of writer you are. There's no right or wrong answers to this, right? And there's no one interpretation of a picture, right? Like for instance, this fireworks picture. Maybe once the fuse is lit, it takes, and all of a sudden you shoot off, and off you go, right? Maybe it's that you see these pictures like, no, when I get done, it's a celebration, right? Like it's amazing that I got this thing done. Or maybe is that, you get, and then all of a sudden you just blow it up, right? You have to start all over. There's any number of interpretations. That's totally fine as long as you explain that, right? The picture that best describes my writing process is the picture of, and then explain the why. Okay, and then you will provide initial reaction to the course theme and guide theme questions in this section, and then respond to at least 2 other people. So there's your information there of what you will be doing. And again, you will want to spread these out. All right. Um, just kind of as a final thought here, I think it is important. Again, I want to remind you that if you have any questions at all, please make sure you're reaching out. You're like, I don't understand this assignment, or I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, or can you give me some clarification? Please make sure you're reaching out so that I can provide that feedback for you, that clarification for you. Like I said before in the welcome, the email is the best way to get a hold of me. The jdwells@ivtech.edu. That is the best way to get a hold of me. I did give you my phone number. If you text me or if you end up leaving a voice message, please make sure to include your name and what class you're in so I know how to respond. But again, the email is the quickest and best way for you to get a hold of me. So everybody, make sure that you are doing that. Good luck and have fun with this first assignment. I think you're going to do great.